OpenClaw can now join your Google Meet calls, take notes, pull transcripts, and consult itself in real-time voice while the call is happening. That is the headline of V2026.4.24, which dropped yesterday. 901 commits since V2026.4.23 4 days ago. Biggest release of the April run. DeepSeek V4 Flash is the new onboarding default. Real-time voice loops work across Talk, VoiceClaw, and Meet. Plus a narrow plugin-SDK breaking change. The .zip already has 4,169 downloads in 24 hours. Adoption is moving fast on this one. Let's break down what shipped, why it matters, and the one thing plugin authors need to know about. Quick context on the April cadence. V2026.4.20 on Monday, 81 commits, Kimi K2.6 default. V2026.4.21, Tuesday, small reliability patch. V2026.4.22, Wednesday, chunky feature drop with XAI image and TTS, local TUI mode. V2026.4.23, Thursday, security pass with 25 patches, Codex OAuth for image Gemini. V2026.4.24, yesterday, the biggest of all of them, 901 commits. 5 highlight bullets, 60 plus change entries, 200 plus fix entries. The cadence reads, chunky patch, chunky, security, chunky. This one breaks the alternating pattern by being 2 chunky features in a row, with the security release sandwiched in the middle. That is what an aggressive ship cycle looks like when the maintainer is willing to keep shipping through the weekend. Google Meet is the headline. OpenClaw now ships a bundled Meet participant plugin, personal Google OAuth. You sign in once with your real Google account, the agent is now a participant. Chrome or Twilio real-time transports. Chrome for paired node setups, Twilio for SIP routed calls. Artifact and attendance exports. The agent pulls transcripts, captures screen shares, logs who is in the room, and recovery tooling. If you already have a Meet tab open in Chrome, OpenClaw Google Meet Recover tab grabs that session instead of opening a duplicate. The agent doctor command verifies OAuth, paired Chrome state, and any tabs already open. Once configured, the agent sits in your meetings as a real participant. Second major beat. Real-time voice loops now work across Talk, VoiceClaw, and Google Meet. They share a single OpenClaw or agent/consult tool. Here's what that means in practice. You are on a Meet call. Someone asks a question that needs a tool call. Pull a Salesforce record, check a Jira ticket, run a database query. The agent on the call says, hold on, consults the full OpenClaw agent in the background using OpenClaw. Agent/consult gets a tool-backed answer and speaks it back into the call. The real-time voice frontend stays low latency. The deeper reasoning happens out of band. That handoff pattern is what makes the difference between a meeting note-taker and an actual agentic participant. Browser automation got serious upgrades worth knowing about. Viewport coordinate clicks via OpenClaw browser click chords. Useful when CSS selectors fail or change underneath you. 60-second default action timeout. Configurable via browser.action timeout enyas. Per profile headless overrides. You can have one named profile run headless, and another with a visible window. Stable tab handles like T1, T2, T3, instead of UUID handles, that change between sessions. Aria snapshots. The agent can grab the accessibility tree of a page and reason against it, which is more robust than DOM scraping. And a bundled browser automation skill ships as part of the install. You do not pip install or npm install anything to use it. Release page on GitHub is dense. 5 highlight bullets, 60 plus change entries, 200 plus fix entries. 3 binary assets, the .dmg at 35.7 megabytes, the .zip at 48 megabytes, the DSWAM symbol zip for crash debugging. The zip already has 4,169 downloads in 24 hours. Strong adoption. Top contributor for this release is at Vincent Koch with 30 plus attributions across plugin-SDK, OTEL, and manifest contracts. Cut and signed by Pete. Same release engineer running every release this month. The contributor list at the bottom of the release notes runs more than 100 handles long. That is community velocity that matches what Pete tweeted about earlier this week. 3,000 plus PRs and counting, growing at an impossible rate. Provider lineup expanded significantly. DeepSeek V4 Flash and V4 Pro both join the bundled catalog. V4 Flash is the new onboarding default. That is what new users get when they install OpenClaw without configuring a model. DeepSeek thinking and replay behavior fixed for follow-up tool call turns. That was a real bug where reasoning content placeholders broke after tool calls. Gemini Live is now wired in for real-time voice. Backs the new VoiceClaw real-time brain WebSocket endpoint. Gradium TTS added. OpenRouter TTS via /audio/speech endpoint. Microsoft TTS got rescued from being shadowed by other speech plugins. The provider catalog is now genuinely multi-vendor across both LLM and voice. Worth quoting the release notes directly on the headline. The official framing is, Google Meet joins OpenClaw as a bundled participant plugin with personal Google OAuth, Chrome and Twilio real-time sessions, paired node Chrome support, artifact and attendance exports, and recovery tooling for already open Meet tabs. That is one bullet from the highlights section. The next bullet, Talk, VoiceCall, and Google Meet can use real-time voice loops that consult the full OpenClaw agent for deeper tool-backed answers. 2 bullets, the entire vision of an agentic meeting participant. The third bullet, on DeepSeek V4 Flash as the new default, is the undertold story. A free or near-free Chinese frontier model now ships as the out-of-the-box experience for new OpenClaw installs. That changes the cost economics of self-hosting. There is exactly one breaking change in v2026.4.24, and it is narrow. The Pi-only API.registerEmbeddedExtensionFactory path is removed. Bundled tool result rewrites must now use API.register agent tool result middleware, with contracts.agent tool result middleware declaring the targeted harnesses. Affects plugin-SDK consumers only, specifically plugin authors who wrote tool result rewrites for the Pi harness. End users are not affected. Casual plugin consumers are not affected. If you are not actively writing OpenClaw plugins for the Pi harness, ignore this entirely. Also /models add is deprecated, not removed. Chat attempts now return a deprecation message pointing you to the manifest-based model catalog contract. Plugin authors should migrate proactively before the deprecation becomes a removal in a future release. Most users will never see this. Vi 2026.4.24 is the biggest OpenClaw release of April, 901 commits. The Google Meet integration is the kind of feature that changes how you use the agent day to day. Your meeting notes are no longer your problem. The real-time voice loops give talk and voice call and meet the same shared agent layer underneath. DeepSeek V4 Flash as the new default lowers the barrier for new users. The breaking change is narrow enough to ignore unless you are actively writing plugins for the Pi harness. Upgrade with npm install -g OpenClaw at the latest tag. Subscribe for every OpenClaw release as it ships, plus the broader Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google ecosystem coverage as it lands. Release notes and full changelog link in the description. See you in the very next one.